So we often get invited to meetings to facilitate meetings, mainly with managers, senior leadership teams. And, the purpose is to identify the purpose of the team or the vision for the next 5, 10 years, etc. My question is it essential or is it one of the main components for these managers and directors to have entrepreneurial mindset to grow with the company and develop their skills within the company? And is this mindset enough to do so?
I think that's a very interesting and carefully worded question, Rima. And the answer is not straightforward because the first part of it is who needs to be entrepreneurial. Let me begin by saying that when you look at the composition of the population of any company, the leadership, the middle management, and the front line, when you look at that, you're looking at the future of the company. So that's a very important question from that perspective. The future of the company, the lead indicator of where this company is going to be in a few years, is exactly what those people look like: the leadership, the middle management, and the front line. So, important question: is an entrepreneurial spirit enough? And the answer is no, because entrepreneurs like to move quickly. Entrepreneurs like to have a destination that they're going to, and their energy and motivation will take them there. But when you think about many of the companies, you realize they don't have clarity. They don't have a clear destination. If you ask 10 people, what's the purpose of your company? You get 10 different answers. That's a big challenge. That's a problem because unless everybody is crystal clear about the purpose, they are unable to make choices even with the best of goodwill and the best of intentions. Their choices will not enable the company to achieve its purpose because they're not agreed on what it is.
Who
Now,
sets
where
the
does all
clarity of
that
that purpose?
exactly? Who sets the clarity on that? That is the leadership of the company engaging. First of all, the leadership has to have a strategy. Where are we going? What are we trying to do? How is this company going to be sustainable if they're building a sustainable company? And that's the strategy. A strategy is really the engine that drives the company forward. Now, where does the strategy come from? What is the strategy about? The strategy, you need to have a vision, a purpose, and an identity. And based on those three things, the entrepreneurship is about the identity. Who are we? Are we entrepreneurs? Are we social workers? Who are we? What's our identity and DNA as a leadership group? That's number one. You know, who are we? What is the identity that we perceive that we belong to? And that's a very big deal because that drives everything. And the second piece is, what is the current situation? What's the context? What are we what are we facing in the real world? And what do we want to do about it? Where do we want to go? And the strategy is the answer to how do we make it happen? And therefore, if you don't have a clear answer to how do we make it happen with the resources we have, with our situation, with who we are, how do you communicate that to anybody? And let me ask you a question. If you weren't clear of what was expected of you and what your contribution to the achievement of that organization is, what would your motivation and your enthusiasm look like if you were in doubt and uncertain about the future? Not sure what's
Actually,
expected of me.
yeah, actually, I wouldn't continue because clarity is very important to me, personal level. If I'm not clear, if I don't see the vision is clear, first of all, I wouldn't be performing. Second, my motivation would go down. And third, I would be thinking on my way out. I think
The most
that's the
competent
behavior of so
people.
many people. And and you know, and I'm not an employee here, even as
Yes,
a partner at ICTN. If I wouldn't have the clarity of what we're doing and why are we here and what is our purpose, I would, you know, say bye-bye.
it's exactly. It's like that famous story that so many people tell from Alice in Wonderland, when Alice asks the rabbit, which way should I go? And the rabbit says, where do you want to go? It's actually the cat. She asks the Cheshire cat, and the Cheshire cat says, well, where do you want to go? And she says, I don't know. I don't much care. And then the cat answers back saying, then if you're not sure where you're going, it doesn't matter which way you want to go. Any road will take you there. So yeah, clarity of purpose, clarity of direction is primary. And so many organizations lack that. Or if they think they have it on the leadership level, it hasn't been communicated to adequately or clearly enough to everybody, so each individual in the company actually knows what their contribution is supposed to be.
Question. Not every company do actually practice, not every company does practice this exercise where they, the leadership team get together and ask themselves, what's the purpose? What's our vision? What's our identity? And they actually make money and they financially they're okay, they'll be growing. But at a certain point, they cannot continue like this.
Of
They're
course, because think about it. Depending on what direction you want to go, your destination is far or near. Your destination could be short term, and that's perfectly okay. You can have
mm,
a company that's 100% opportunistic, and their purpose would be, and their intention would be to look for opportunities where they can make a lot of money.
mm,
They purchase or they buy that asset or goods or stock or whatever it is, and they make money out of it, and they move on to the next opportunity. And that is a viable strategy, as long as people are aware that that is what they're doing, that is how they make money. It's perfectly legitimate, but it's not a long term.
it's not sustainable.
The process, yeah, it's sustainable in terms of we're making money wherever there's an opportunity to make money, we make it.
Mm.
But and that is how big commodity businesses have made enormous amounts of money. So it depends on what you're doing. There is no straightforward answer, and there's no recipe for everybody. But the key thing is, what is our strategy? What are we doing? Are we an opportunistic company doing short-term gains, and our main objective is to make a huge amount of profit and to have a very big financial cushion?
Mm.
We acquire assets and build our wealth, or are we a company that has a purpose, and that purpose is to serve a certain segment of society in such a way that we have a loyal following, we have a long-term business? It really depends on, and the question is, who are we, and what is our situation? What do we want to do? If you don't have answers to those three foundational questions, you can't set a strategy, or you could, but it's irrelevant. It's like an engine that doesn't have gears and doesn't have any fuel to power it.